The strongest demon slayer to have ever lived has a really sad backstory. Yorichi was blessed with immense power and he was alone since a very young age. As we know, Yorichi was the younger twin brother of Michikazu, and because he was born with a distinct birthmark, their father made sure to separate the boys. That meant Yorichi spent most of his childhood without having any friends and having to live in a secluded room in the house. One day, Yorichi runs away from home, and when he was running, he realized something. He was not getting tired at all, and he just kept running until he ran into a young girl named Uta who had her entire family wiped out by a disease. With the two having nowhere to belong or family to go home to, they both decided to accompany each other, and 10 years later they would get married. Uta became pregnant, and when it was time for the baby to come, Yorichi went out to get a doctor to deliver the baby. When he returned, he found his pregnant wife dead on the floor, killed by a demon. The tragedy shocked Yorichi so much that he held their corpse in his arms for 10 days straight and only buried them after a pursuing demon slayer encouraged him to do so. This was the cause for Yorichi to pick his blade back up and train as a demon slayer. Yorichi would go on to train the demon slayers, and when he tried to teach them about the sun breathing, none could master it, even his own brother included. So as the excellent teacher he was, he taught all his students a watered down version of the sun breathing: water, flame, moon, wind, stone, and thunder. And the most powerful out of the group being obviously moon, since Michikazu was directly related to Yorichi. Kokushibo, by far dignified and majestic, is a demon that has a very interesting backstory. And of course, it makes sense as he was the brother of the most powerful slayer to have ever lived, Yorichi. When he was human, he went by the name of Michikazu, so that is what we'll be using to describe him. Michikazu was the older twin brother of Yorichi, and at the time of their birth, having twins was considered to be a bad omen. Out of the two boys, Yorichi was born with a unique and distinct birthmark, and their father thought the kid was cursed, so he separated the two twins at a young age. Michikazu was groomed to be the next head of the family and had been given special treatments when it came to things like training, education, and food. And one day, while Michikazu was training, Yorichi would ask him if he could try his hand at swordsmanship. And by surprise, Yorichi was very competent with the sword, and even outshining the teacher of Michikazu. Their father had heard of this event and would make Yorichi to be the next heir of the family because he was stronger than Michikazu. And of course, this meant the roles of the two would be reversed, with Yorichi having to take the position of Michikazu and vice versa. It's also important to mention that around this time was when the jealousy of Michikazu started. Yorichi, being the gentle brother he was, decides to run away as he did not want to take the position of his older brother. And years later, the two would meet, with Yorichi saving Michikazu during a demon attack. And the two would fight side by side as demon slayers after that. Michikazu, with the help of his brother, would learn and develop his own breathing style, the breath of the moon, and was yet again jealous because he couldn't master the breath of the sun. What's also important to mention is that now Michikazu had his birthmark awakened, meaning that he would, die at an early age. Michikazu, now awakened with his mark, meets with Musan so that he will give him his blood to become a demon in order to A. surpass his brother and B. live a long life. And this is how he became the demon we know today as Kokushibo.